Alright, I hope you're ready for an exceptionally scuffed direct reaction today, because, you can't see it because it's in another tab, but I am playing Final Fantasy XIV right now, and don't know if I'll be able to stop in 15 minutes when the direct actually starts, so that will be fun. While I'm doing this, I'm going to be speculating about things that we will see in the direct, and because it is me, Joe Xenoblade, speaking, then the important thing to know is that we're not going to be seeing anything from Xenoblade beyond Wave 3 of 3's DLC. Like, that's just not going to happen. And that's for many reasons, but I hope you're willing to accept that, because they're going to do what they did for Torna for the next wave, which is to speak English properly. What am I trying to think of? They're going to save it for the summer direct. E3 does not exist anymore. However, that does not mean that there's not going to be a direct at the same time, because they've done that all the time. They've done that every time there hasn't been an E3, and that's okay. So, that's going to be a thing. And we're almost certainly going to not see that. What am I trying to say? Yeah, this is why I don't stream 14. Anyway. We won't be seeing 3 beyond Wave 2. And that's okay, as long as Wave 2 has better challenge mode. All that really matters to me. We're going to see the hero. We're going to see how much of the leak ended up being true. And that's going to be neat. But when I'm saying that we're not seeing any Xenoblade, that doesn't mean we're not going to see Monolith. We're going to see plenty of Monolith, because this is first half of 2023. Tears of the Kingdom barely falls in first half of 2023. Now, granted, very important. We're probably still going to get a dedicated Tears of the Kingdom direct. But the game comes out in under 3 months and we know exactly nothing about it. So, they still need a lot. They need to say a lot about it. And every time a game gets a dedicated direct, we know at least a little bit about it beforehand. We've gotten 2 basically just story trailers, and not even much of that, so there's a lot of that needs to be seen. There's also the Baten Kaitos rumors, and I believe those to be true at this point. There was a potential leaked piece of key art, and then I'm also comparing that with a bunch of other Monolith-related stuff, like Yatsuyuki Hone hasn't been doing anything that we know about for a couple years, and is also a major director at Monolith. Because, fun fact, Tetsuya Takahashi isn't the only person who works at Monolith. I know that's kind of hard for a lot of people to wrap their heads around, but it's okay. And I just realized you're actually going to hear my 14 sound effects. Can you tell what I'm doing in 14? That's your big comment question for the day. Anyway. So, I think that project exists. Whether or not we're going to learn about what that project is at this direct, that I don't know. I have a feeling, like, Baten Kaitos, it's coming. We're going to learn about it this year, regardless of whether or not anything about the... Jesus Christ, I'm terrible at this while I'm doing something else. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? We know exactly... It's coming this year. I believe that now. We might not get it at this direct, because it might not be a pseudo-shadow drop thing that'll come out within a few months that we don't know anything about. That kind of goes for Pikmin as well. They've shown basically none of it so far, so I think it is a toss-up as to whether or not it's first half or second half 2023, so that could genuinely go either way, and I'm curious about that. But what else will there be? Advance Wars, maybe. Engage DLC, we might be a little too soon for that. Kirby, probably going to have a presence. I do definitely think that's a first half, even if we haven't been told the exact release date yet. That just seems like the kind of thing. No hardware. If they're going to do hardware, again, it's going to be at the summer thing. They've been working on new hardware for a while now. It's coming eventually. And this year is going to be when we're going to learn about it. Like, we've reached the critical mass that we did during NX discussion era, where everyone on the inside has known that something was coming for so long and has been saying stuff about it so consistently that it's got to be real at this point, and they're kind of running out of time for it to not be real in a sense, because if enough people have been saying this for enough time, then it is probably in fact real. And if it's real, we're running out of time for an entire console development cycle to have happened since they started saying it was real, basically. So we're going to find out about it sooner or later, and I think this year is when. It's not going to be this direct, though. I do think this direct is mainly going to be focused on games in the first half of 2023, and probably a couple games from later on in the year. Like, my guess will be Zelda is going to be the big set piece thing, unless there's one other big game that they're not going to say anything about, that they haven't said anything about yet. So that is a first half game, but I feel like if Metroid is coming this year and isn't being put in the Breath of the Wild situation for this and the next hardware, then we might see a little bit about it at least. And again, there could still be a big first party thing that they're not telling us about yet. They could throw in a very late console lifetime Mario game or something. Like, where's our 2D Mario? Also, if this is late Switch lifetime, then it's likely that they start throwing out weird experimental stuff on a lower budget or from other series or stuff like that. Because they did that for not necessarily the Wii U as much, but they definitely did that for the 3DS. And it didn't work because they started doing that for the 3DS after the Switch was already out. However, if they do it for the Switch now, and the next thing is backwards compatible, then that's completely okay. You're still going to have an install base no matter what happens there. And obviously a big selling point of the Switch is that it is cheap, so no matter what, people are still going to be buying that, as opposed to picking up a 3DS in 2018 or whatever when they finally stopped making games for it. So them still putting out base Switch games after a new thing comes out is still reasonable. So there could be like one or two things in the tank, and I'm definitely expecting there to be one completely out there thing from an IP that we haven't heard a lot about, or that we thought was kind of dead for a bit. Speaking of Fire Emblem, I do believe the FE4 remake is real. I do not believe we're going to see anything about it today, just because Engage is less than a month old, and that isn't usually a thing that's done for games that are less than a month old. So that's another reason why I'm not expecting us to see more Xenoblade, basically. Because, like, they're going to show the rest of Engage's DLC, at least reveal the rest of Engage's DLC, before we see whatever the next Fire Emblem is. Like, if FE18 is an original thing, or if it's the Genealogy remake, please be the Genealogy remake. We're not going to learn about it, not because of hardware or anything. We're not going to learn about whatever it is until after they finish trying to sell Engage to people. And they've got a lot of proving that Engage's DLC pass is actually going to be worth the cost, because it's a Fire Emblem DLC pass. And besides Three Houses, since those started existing, they've been very overpriced. So I'm probably not picking it up. Gotta be real with you on that one. But either way, it's the same principle for Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. They're not going to show the next thing in either of those series until they finish advertising the DLC. And we don't really know what the FE DLC is going to be, because Engage is a very different game to Three Houses, while Xenoblade 3 is, I'd say, a lot more similar to Xenoblade 2 in that sense. So we vaguely know what to expect from 3's DLC. And knowing how Torna was, they're not going to touch anything else Xenoblade, other than a spin-off, I guess, until we know exactly what that story DLC is going to be. And probably until we know it's out. Unless there's going to be, like, a launch day thing or like a Switch 2 or Switch successor or whatever, launch day game that's like a Xenoblade export, and they absolutely need to show that off because they're showing the entire launch or first party launch lineup. That's too speculative. That's a completely different beast that I'm talking about. We're only getting Wave 3 as far as Xenoblade is concerned. Now, Bat and Kaitos, I'd say we're 50-50 on whether or not we get that now or we get that later. I don't really have any good speculation as for like a brand new game that they could show off. There's a lot of third-party stuff and a lot more ports because we're going to see pixel remasters today. Because Square just kind of announced that that was happening. And then they shadow dropped pre-orders for the physical version. Then didn't really do anything else with that. So I would assume they'd say something about it in a Nintendo Direct. And, you know, because there's a Nintendo Direct happening, like, right now, this would be a good time to say something about it. Unfortunately, it is going to be download only. I don't think they're going to restock the physical copies, unfortunately, because I would really like a physical copy of it. But the best thing they could do, because I did not buy the pixel remasters on Steam because they should have been on console to begin with, and because they were overpriced. If the pixel remasters on console are one cartridge or one collection for standard Switch MSRP, $60 US, then I will buy them. I think that's fair for the quality of content they gave us and the fact that it is 6 games, even though these are not the definitive versions of any of FF1 through 6. In that sort of package, that I do think is worth it. Since they will be digital only, it is most likely that we'll be able to buy them separately, and I don't really mind that as long as the total price is still under that threshold, or like there's a bundle for that threshold or under. That's not really an issue for me. The best thing they could do to sell that stuff on me is to just show a trailer with a different font than the base Steam version. Because if, after all I said about the fact that they should have been on console to begin with, they show something that's the original font, I'm still not picking it up. I'm probably not even picking it up on Steam for cheap when it's on sale and modding a better font into it, because they could have and should have been doing better for years with that stuff. I'm on that copium still that because Xenogears 25th anniversary is this weekend, we're also going to get a Xenogears port. That's absolutely not going to happen, and if it does, it might not even be in a Direct, but shut up. The 2 indie games this year I'm most excited for are Sea of Stars and Silksong. They're also 2 of the only indie games that are both coming to Switch, and I believe are big enough where they'd be in a general Direct and not an indie showcase. So I know Microsoft said that they'd be showing us Silksong stuff at some point early this year. It depends on whether or not it's only Microsoft seeing that, who's allowed to show that stuff, as to whether or not we see Silksong. But I think at least a sizzle reel with Sea of Stars in it is a possibility. And, like, I'm not hurting for more Xeno content this year because it's Xenoblade 3 DLC, and we already got Chained Echoes, and we might be getting Bat and Kaitos, which is another somewhat similar Monolith thing. But, I mean, if we get the second 16-bit indie Xeno game in the first half of this year, then I won't complain, because Chained Echoes, also pretty nice. And Sea of Stars, I'm also really excited, obviously, because of Mitsuda. And who knows? Mitsuda might not be composing new songs for the Xenoblade 3 DLC. We might be getting more Mitsuda from Sea of Stars than we would have from the other stuff, which is a really weird dichotomy, more than I think about it. I don't think, like, despite the fact we're getting pixel remasters, I really don't think Square is going to show up as much as they did last time, because that was, like, a kind of flex that you only see a couple times a generation, and I just don't think Square is capable of doing that 2 Directs in a row. Like, they got 16 coming this year. A lot of the big Square games for 2023 are not stuff that you'll find on Switch, so we're not going to see that, but we might see some other developers step up. Like, who knows, like Capcom could just chuck a bunch of stuff at us right now, and I wouldn't complain at all about that. But, who knows, like, I'm not expecting, like, one third party to dominate again, especially if we're winding down a generation. Because if we're winding down a generation, that means third parties have less incentive to really do anything with Nintendo, and especially because it's Nintendo, they're not going to want to do that. And that's just because of the console power thing. They're going to hold off on all of their support until Nintendo has better hardware, because, like, oh, we could port this thing directly instead of using a cloud version or stripping it down as much. But they're coming out with, okay, we're getting the thing now. It's rating pending to mature. I'm still playing FF14. Thankfully, it's a hunt train, so we're not doing a whole lot. I can probably focus on this in the direct at the same time. But I'm going to move this and make sure nothing gets cut off. Nothing gets cut off. Okay, we're good. We're good. Hello, Nintendo. Hello, John Nintendo Direct. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Kozumi this time? What are they going to start us with this time? They're going to start us with Pikmin. Okay. Expected, but not surprising. Or unexpected, but not surprising, I'd say. Pikmin 4 that looked like an Olimar ship. Was that the ship from Hey Pikmin? I don't like Hey Pikmin being canon. I love the way this game looks. But I still haven't seen any. Okay, we have blowhogs. They put blowhogs in the game. I like that. I like the baby Snagrets. That's a good thing. That's cute. Now, I really wonder, like, I think they already confirmed Olimar is going to be in it at some point. So, not super sure about that. Oh, is that? Like, I could have sworn Olimar was confirmed. That's not Olimar, though. This is interesting. It's a red onion that looks a lot like the Pikmin 3 onion, so I'm not sure whether or not they're going to combine again in this game. Hey, this Pikmin game has... Okay, it does combine. Never mind. Pikmin game has Pikmin in it. Who could have guessed? This mostly looks like Pikmin 3 too, and not in a bad way. Okay, climbing is new. See, every game has to be Breath of the Wild. Okay, we're getting treasures again. We're not getting fruit. That's interesting. Ice Pikmin. That's just blue rock Pikmin. That's unoriginal. Don't really like that. I like the yellow flowers though. That seems like it's gonna be the new thing for this game. Alright, like I guess another thing immune to water is interesting. But like water's already cheesable, so I don't really know how I feel about that. Bulborb dog. Is this Poochie in Pikmin 4? What are we doing with this now? Shepherd. Interesting. Looks like some of these characters might actually like be native to the planet now. But I can't tell if they're from like Olimar or Alf's planet or anything. Or if they're just actually natives to ENF 404. Oh wow! Colin. Yeah, it looks like these are actual like space colonists or something. We have to save them. I like Disco Longlegs though. Disco Longlegs is this very strong design. Don't see a second new Pikmin species, and I don't see any other returning species other than the base 3. So, also bringing Cage back. Don't know how I feel about that. Like if this is the Pikmin 2 to Pikmin 3's Pikmin 1, I'd be okay with that. But it looks like they're taking things away from 3 instead of just adding them, and that's what I'm somewhat scared about. It depends on what the release date for this is. Okay, no, we're getting an actual overview of it too. That's different. That's better if there's... Oh, are we finally getting night exploration? 721. Okay, yeah. That's not a big deal anymore because we're gonna get more info about that in a later thing. So, perfectly okay with that amount of stuff being shown off. I dislike Ice Pikmin, but everything else looks great.
That was the latest trailer for Pikmin 4. A dog-like creature was spotted.
It's interesting, like, this isn't necessarily the replacement for Bulbmin.
Please look forward to more information in the future. Let's see our first batch of Nintendo Switch headlines.
But if they're just doing headlines.
This new hero is a real gem.
Alright, I'm guessing this is
Introducing Volume 3 of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass.
That
DLC.
is the leaked design. Masha. I like the voice.
Say hello to Masha, the newest hero, and a refined lapidarist.
Don't like the design.
She can use special ore to craft accessories that can bestow various effects.
Alright, yeah, we don't need more accessories.
With roguelike elements are also being added.
Alright.
Select only one character and battle wave after wave.
Roguelike challenge mode is cool. I like this.
You'll learn more heroes.
It's different than what I wanted, but it's really freaking cool.
And set your sights on the final
stage. And I think I'm okay with that.
You might also get special in-game outfits as a reward.
Throwback. Alright, so those are some Xenoblade 1 outfits.
Later this year.
They're just saying like,
tell me why!
Alvis is back!
Really? me what you want.
Yes!
Gonna get through to him.
That's a different voice for Rex. I dislike that. All right. My evil Alvis prediction was real.
Like killing Granddad wasn't enough for you.
Volume 3 of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass.
Was
for the
that Noah
Xenoblade
again?
Chronicles 3 game launches
Oh,
on
God.
the Nintendo Switch system
Oh, God.
February 15th.
I don't like the fact that Rex is a new
Check it,
voice.
amigo.
I'm not a fan of that, unfortunately.
2, 1. Move to the beat in a brand
Well,
new Samba de
unfortunately,
Amigo game.
I'm not gonna be able to top that. So
Grab your Joy-Con controllers and gently shake them like maracas to match the targets during a song.
yeah, that's interesting.
Follow the instructions on screen to
I like
pose.
Samba de I think
and
someone might have
dance.
predicted this at some point, and that's neat and all.
But
But
the unexpected might happen, so stay on your toes.
actually, no, wait. Yeah, killing Granddad. That was Founders. That was definitely
One out
Founders.
dance
Now that
with
I
a
think
friend
about it.
to predict your
Alvis is A.
love.
Alvis is A. All right, figured it out already. Let's go.
Make sure to show
Alvis
up
is
in
Mobius
style,
A.
Too.
Shulk and Rex were Cassini and
Compete
Reed there.
online in
We
World
saw not
Party.
Faye.
Those with the lowest
So that's-
scores in
I
each
think I
round
figured it
will
out
be
now.
Eliminated. Keep the beat and aim for first place. 40
They're obviously
songs
not gonna show off more
spanning a
characters
multitude of
than just that.
genres from around the world.
I reached my daily
So
tweet
grab
limit on
those
TweetDeck.
controllers
Really?
And get shaken.
TweetDeck
When
just
Samba
exploding
de
now?
Amigo Party Central shimmies onto Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
this
TweetDeck's broken.
summer.
That's not good.
Got a passion for
All right,
fashion?
Twitter's just not working for me anymore. That's neat.
Welcome to Fashion Dreamer. This is the place to glam it up and express yourself. Here, you'll aim to become a stylish influencer.
All right, I have zero
And
things to
you're
say
in
about
luck.
this.
Tons of
Jesus
people are
Christ,
seeking
that
the
trailer.
latest trends.
Oh,
Give them a like if you dig their style.
I think we broke Twitter.
Or
We did it.
suggest
The
new outfits
Xenoblade
for
3
them to
story
grow
DLC
as
is
an
the second
influencer.
thing after Minecraft Steve to break Twitter. I hope you don't
Now
mind
it's time
if I
for
go back
fashion
and like
design.
watch the early bit of the direct or that bit of the
Choose from
direct
over
again
1,000 design
while
options.
we're going
And
through
add
games I don't really have a lot to
personal
say
touch
about
to
like this
give your
one.
item a final flourish.
Because, alright, I'm gonna check the throwback costumes because I wasn't paying
You can
direct
get the
attention to
items
all
other
that
people
stuff.
are wearing by liking them.
But let's see. We saw
Mix
that
and
there's
match your
Senna had
favorites to
throwback
create
A,
new
so it looks
looks.
like each character is gonna get at least 2. And
By
for
connecting
what they've
online,
shown
you
off
can
so
expand your
far,
friend circle and
it is
grow your
Noah
brand.
Shulk, Lance Rhine, Uni Melia, which all makes sense. Mio Nia,
An
Senna
eye
Bridget,
for
and
fashion?
Tyon
Then
with
get
the
stylish
Jin
when
transformed
Fashion Dreamer
drip
debuts
is
exclusively on
amazing.
Nintendo Switch
I like
this
that
year.
one. That's really sick. Let's see what the next game is before I keep talking about that.
Delve into these dark
Dark
worlds.
Worlds? Is this a horror thing?
Dracula's castle beckons in this new paid DLC for the roguelite
Dead Cells.
action
Okay.
platformer.
This I think was
Dead
known about already,
Cells.
but yeah, this was Game
Venture
Awards, I
through the castle's
think.
hellish
But
halls
it
and
looks
outskirts
cool.
alongside
Dead
Winter
Cells is
Belmont
another one of those
and
things that I need to
Alucard,
play at some point,
leading up to a
but
showdown
am
with
not going to get
Death
around to
and
anytime soon
Dracula
because I play too
himself.
many long RPGs.
Wield the vampire killer and other iconic weapons as you vanquish legions of monsters in frenetic
In the story
combat.
DLC section.
12 original covers,
And
51
let's just
songs from
get
the
a look at-
Castlevania series accompany you during
Yeah,
your
Shulk
quest
is
in
using a
Dead
beefed up
Cells.
Rex Plus.
Return to
It's
Castlevania,
not the
sinking
same
its teeth
one
into
that
Nintendo
Melia has at
Switch
the end of
March
Xenoblade
6th.
3.
Pre-orders
Xenoblade 3
begin
spoilers,
today
by the way.
on Nintendo eShop.
Then
Enter a new grid in this narrative puzzle adventure set within
Rex is wearing
the
a
Tron
shirt,
universe.
which is not what I expected, actually.
Uncover dangerous truths
Other than
and
that, he's
retrieve
exactly what I
was
thought he'd be.
lost as you navigate through a perilous world.
A Tron game?
Your
Why are we getting a
decisions and the
Tron? We're getting a
alliances you
Tron
forge will
game in
impact your journey
2023.
and the entire server.
This better actually be Tron, and I'm
Tron
not
Identity
stupid.
launches first for consoles on Nintendo Switch this April. Who's there? Wait, is
Ghost
that?
Trick?
Well, that can't be good. The time-bending murder mystery Ghost Trick returns
I like
in
this.
HD.
I don't think anyone
After
knew about
kicking the
this, but
bucket and
this
becoming
is
a ghost,
this
you
got a
can
mobile
possess
port, so it's
and
not a super
control
big
objects.
surprise, but
With your
that's
powers, you can
great.
even help others,
I
like this woman,
wanted to play
and
this for a long
change
time.
Any ill-fated, fates.
But
Ghost Trick.
this is one of those
Phantom
things where I
Detective.
don't have
Spirits
anything
onto
to say about
Nintendo
this,
Switch
but
this
I'm
summer.
very glad it exists.
Two connected worlds, one suspenseful thriller.
I want to say detective visual novel.
問題ない搭載不
言っても無駄だし
like that. Oh my god, that was a very... It was a very Joseph Joestar, oh my god. I appreciate it.
デカシムは刑事訓練用の仮想空間現実がコピーされた世界
すごいここ本当に仮想空間なの
Alright, interesting that it doesn't have a dub shown
こ
yet.
の事件のパズルを解き明かす
Visual novel? Is this
10分も経ってないよ
this what level 5 has been doing, maybe?
最初から違和感があった
Because I don't think we know anything about them. But if it's a puzzle game, then that's in their wheelhouse.
警察だおとなしくしろ
Okay, no, it's an RPG.
デカバングルにか
Oh, no, level 5 made RPGs. Yeah, they made Yokai Watch. This is totally level 5, isn't it?
宝石強奪未遂で
Because the art style is very... It's not quite latent, but it's almost there. They probably showed the developer at some point at the beginning of the trailer and I just missed it. And I'm gonna look like a very stupid idiot in a minute.
誰かがデータを置き換えたんだ
警察のシステムに潜入しプログラムを書き換えたそれって完全に犯罪だぞこれが犯罪だ
Again, this might be like still relatively early in development, so we're not getting a dub yet, but...
私服を肥やす豚どもは一匹
Capitalist. Yeah, it was level 5. Okay, I called something that wasn't Xeno. Yay!
Once upon a time, there was
Alright,
a witch and a demon.
I have nothing to say about Bayonetta.
Experience
I never got a
Bayonetta's
chance to play
origins as a
Bayonetta 1
young
and 2
witch named
before
Cereza.
3 came out, and then people were saying negative things about 3, so I'm like,
Seeking the
alright,
power to rescue
I don't
her
need to pay attention to
imprisoned
this series
mother,
much anymore.
She ventures deep into the Avalon Forest ruled by fairies.
I'm going to that forest I'm going to become a witch and save mummy
I'm still disappointed that...
There, she'll encounter
Actually, when is the
otherworldly
Xenoblade thing coming
demon
out?
Cheshire.
That's an important thing to know.
You'll control both witch and demon at the same time. Harness Cereza's magic and Cheshire's
February
ferocity
15th. Okay,
to
I have
travel
time.
through this
I have
mysterious
time
and
to deal with
dangerous
that.
Forest. They'll need to work together in battle as well.
Let's go
Cereza cannot attack and can only support Cheshire by magically binding enemies. Hold an enemy in place while Cheshire attacks.
Yeah, I've tweeted
Or
7
stop
times
an
today, and that's
aggressive
apparently
one
the
to
tweet
focus
limit.
on another.
I guess
Strategically
Twitter
use
does
each
not want me
character's abilities to
like,
win battles.
live tweeting this direct. That's a disappointment.
The duo will gain strength as they continue their journey. By obtaining more powers, new paths can be opened, and battles can be more easily swayed in your favor. Can Cereza and Cheshire find their
I
happily
can't
ever
believe
after?
my evil Elvis thing was correct.
Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon prowls onto the Nintendo Switch system March 17th. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
How was that? Next, please take a look at this.
Alright, Splatoon. Did I not mention Splatoon? Because we're totally getting Splatoon stuff. Because it's like the new season starts in a month. They need to show us that. I don't know if they're gonna pull the DLC. I guess they are gonna pull the DLC thing. Either it's like substantial update or DLC. Is this back? Okay, or going back to Splatoon 1 in Galpolis Plaza. Spike is even older. Is this time travel? Are we time traveling? That looks... multi-waves are nice.
Introducing the Splatoon 3 Expansion Pass. This paid DLC includes 2 waves of content.
I'm guessing like
The
a Splatoon
first
1 base
wave
one,
is
Splatoon 2 base one.
Inkopolis. Make this splat-tastic place from the original Splatoon game your stomping grounds.
Are these just alternate plaza
This
skins?
is Booyah Base. It's got some pretty nifty
Oh, I like
weapons and
any
gear. You might spot a few familiar faces alongside new shopkeepers. Products here are the same as the ones
I don't
in
like that.
Splatsville,
I
so
dislike
shop
that
wherever
severely.
Your vibes are strongest. Salmon Run. Table Turf Battle.
It never occurred to me that they'd have to
Show.
put a Grizzco
and
thing
amiibo
into the
functionality
Splatoon 1
all
plaza.
work
That's
in
actually
the
kind of
same
neat.
way here too.
Actually, I like Spike's 3 design more than his 2 design. So I'm guessing though this is just a skin for the plaza.
The Squid Sisters will also perform here during Splatfests.
Yeah, it's a Plaza
Need a
skin
mix of old
that gives you
school
more
and freshness?
Splatfest performances.
Then head over to Inkopolis.
Which, like, it's neat, but that's not worth the price of an expansion pass.
The first wave of this paid DLC launches
Like, if this
spring.
doesn't come with single-player content, I don't think it's particularly worth it. Unfortunately.
Oh, what's this?
Is this the Marina backstory? No. Regular Octo, I think. Is this near Automata? Or is this the timeline? No, that was... I did see Marina there. Hold on. What are we doing? What is this? Pearl? Side order. Okay. This seems like the Splat 2 themed part of it, but I don't know exactly what that means. I am unsure.
Wave 1 Inkopolis launches this
That
spring.
looks like it could be a bad
Wave
timeline
2
ending
side order
for
will launch in
Octo
the future.
expansion, maybe? I don't know. But that's kind of
The
interesting.
Splatoon
Like, I don't
3
think
expansion pass will be
Inkopolis
available
Square
later
would be
today
that
on
okay
Nintendo eShop.
if the other bit of Inkopolis that was right next to it got borked. So...
Many people have played
Yeah.
Splatoon 3 since its launch. Thank you all very much. We hope players will be able to enjoy the game even more with the upcoming paid expansion pass. Please look forward to more information about Splatoon 3 in the future. Let's see some more Nintendo Switch headlines.
Adventure awaits
Interesting.
Mickey and friends on Illusion Island. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy.
And if the entire game manages to have that art
Embark
style,
on a
that would
new
be
adventure to
very
find
impressive
3
just to look
magical
at.
books and save the mysterious island of Monoth.
But I can't tell if that's
Run.
just cutscene. No, okay.
Jump and swing to explore every nook and
This-
cranny of the
This is
island.
Disneycom country. That's what this is. And I
By
think I'm okay
unlocking
with that.
Special abilities, you can reach new places and find secret areas. Cross large chasms with boost jump. Ground pound barriers to open new spaces. And glide through the air to reach distant platforms and hidden areas. Each
I mean, if
character's
Retro is-
personality shines through
Like,
in
if
their
Retro
actions.
is stuck working
Up
on
to 4
Metroid
pals
Prime for
locally
another
can
year and a
brave
half,
the island.
I'm okay
Share
with
a
someone
hub
else
for
picking up the
extra help.
DKC thing.
Play leapfrog for larger jumps. Or drop a rope to lend a hand.
Now, is this... Yeah, it is
Work
multiplayer.
together to save Monoth, and you might discover new paths. While exploring the island, you'll meet unusual allies and dangerous foes. Study their movements carefully to figure out the secrets to victory. Join Mickey and friends
I was
on a
saying Donkey Kong
high-flying
Country, but it could
adventure
just kind
in
of
Disney Illusion
Any
Island.
generic
Swinging onto
platformer, but
Nintendo
I
Switch
think
July
DKC
28th.
is the biggest inspiration. here.
Pre-orders begin today on Nintendo eShop.
Interesting, at least.
More emblems are on the way.
I was wrong about the Fire
New
Emblem. No,
emblems
I
are
wasn't wrong
coming
about the
to
Fire
future
Emblem DLC.
waves
I
of
said it
the
might be a
Fire Emblem
possibility.
Engage expansion pass
It's not. They're not talking
DLC.
about the story stuff.
Wave 2 includes
All right.
Hector, Emblem of Strength.
If they're putting Hector in, I might have
Raise
to pay for
defense
this.
and unleash counterattacks.
Like, I need to do at least one full playthrough without
Soren,
the
Emblem of
DLC
Acumen.
first before I
Cast
buy it,
magic
because this
spells
stuff's probably gonna be
over a
broken.
wide
But
area.
they're putting Hector in, then I might have to get it for Hector. Okay,
Camilla,
Sure.
Emblem of Revelation.
sure. The Conquest
the
character
terrain
is the
to
Emblem of
hunt your
Revelation. That
enemies.
makes sense.
Wave 3 includes Crom and Robin, Emblem of Bonds.
That's funny.
Overwhelm foes with sword and magic
That's
attacks.
actually really funny.
Veronica, Emblem of Heroes. I see you. Summon additional allies to fight for your cause. Challenge
Okay.
newly added missions to recruit these new emblems.
That's good. That's actually good. The Hero's Emblem has gacha as a mechanic.
In Wave 4,
That's really
a
good.
new story called Bell Xenologue will be unlocked.
I'm surprised they're blowing the explanation of the story DLC here, but I guess it's on a faster time frame than
putting your
Xenoblade.
world in danger now.
Watch out! Assassin!
Because of these, like...
Wave 2 of the Fire Emblem
All right,
Engage
so I'm
expansion
guessing-
pass for the Fire Emblem Engage game
I'm
launches
guessing
on the
Wave
Nintendo
4 is
Switch
like
system later
villain
today.
side. But I'm not very far and engaged, so I'm guessing it's like good people from wherever the Fell Dragon is from.
Take control of your destiny. This is Reverie,
don't think I've
a
seen this
world in
before.
which deities known as aspirations dwell. When a megacorp endangers the harmony between Reverie and our world, the future of humanity hangs in the balance. In this narrative adventure, harness your divine gift of clairvoyance to travel between worlds,
Twitter's still not working.
see the future, and decide humanity's
See the
fate.
future like Xenoblade?
Many branching
Xenoblade?
story paths,
Xenoblade?
along with a riveting soundtrack by Celeste composer Lena Raine, set the stage for your journey. Eventually, you'll side with one of the 6 aspirations like Bond,
What kind
Power,
of game is this?
or Chaos to
I
change
have
the story's
yet
outcome.
To see
To
a
which
genre
destiny do
for
you
this
aspire?
video game.
Harmony, The Fall of Reverie, launches first for consoles on Nintendo Switch this June.
Okay. Console exclusive, temporarily. Sure. Take
These
it.
games will have you rolling.
All right. Is there going to be Monkey Ball in here? Because I feel like if they're going to make that pun at the beginning, they should put Monkey Ball on the RPG segment, because that would be very funny.
Direct, a demo containing the game's
All right,
opening hours will be
I
available
am
on Nintendo eShop.
Not interested in this team's
8
work
new
enough
stories
anymore
await.
to want
Which
to bother
path
with
will
that
you
demo,
take
honestly.
first? Who will your allies be, and where will your journey lead
Didn't bother
you?
with triangle strategy.
Venture through a brand new world.
I'm just gonna
in
wait for the Dragon
Octopath
Quest 3 remake
Traveler
before I
2,
jump back into the
launching on
HD2D
Nintendo
stuff.
Switch
Unless I can get Live
24.
Alive for cheap, because that's short, but...
Keep it rolling.
All right,
Run
I was
around
right.
and collect oodles of
I
objects
said
in
Monkey
this
Ball, but
remaster
Katamari
of
makes
We
sense,
Love
too.
Katamari. Roll
There we go.
Classroom,
Katamari.
Zoo, and space.
That was the action game that Bamco was working
New
on.
features include playing as the young king
They
of
got
all
us.
cosmos in 5 new challenges. And taking photos with a selfie camera.
I cannot
We Love
believe Katamari has a
Reroll
photo
plus
mode
Royal
before
Reverie
Xenoblade.
comes to Nintendo Switch June 2nd. In addition, active Nintendo Switch Online members can play a free game trial of Katamari Damacy Reroll.
That's unfortunate. That's the one I already bought.
Combine the powers of the sun and moon to
Let's
fend
go.
off evil
Let's
in this
go.
turn-based
Obviously,
RPG.
I'm most excited about the Xenoblade stuff,
Freely
but
traverse a
let's go.
breathtaking world.
Let's
Meet
go.
characters from all walks of life and devastate foes with timed attacks in battle. Complement your journey with enchanting melodies and retro-inspired tunes from the renowned Yasunori Mitsuda, a guest composer for the game. Sea
I'm
of
slightly
Stars
disappointed it
sails
didn't say
onto Nintendo
Xenoseries
Switch August
verbally,
29th.
because that would have been the little cherry on
Free demo
top, but
will
I'll take
launch
that.
later today on Nintendo eShop.
Wait. Was that a shadow
Check
drop?
it out in
Did
this
they just
free-to-play
shadow drop the game I was
online
most excited for this year?
multiplayer Showdown.
Hold on.
Form 2 teams of 3 and challenge others to lightning-fast battles, air hockey style.
Let me go to my
Use
Steam
each
wish
striker's
list.
skills to dominate each match.
All right.
Change
Nothing
the
about that
course
there.
trajectory from
Hold on.
afar.
All right. It looks like Twitter is so
Block
broken
areas to
currently
gain the
that
advantage.
Nintendo of America can't say anything right now.
Or knock opponents out of the
So-
arena with explosive moves. Omega Strikers.
I'm just going
slides onto
to
Nintendo
Google
Switch
Sea of
April
Stars Switch.
27th. Pre-orders for this free-to-play game begin today on Nintendo eShop.
And see what the Nintendo Store page has to say for it.
Dive back into the sprawling labyrinth.
Is Etrian? Is this
A
Etrian?
collection of the first 3 Etrian Odyssey games is coming to Nintendo Switch,
Ooh,
remastered
that's...
in HD.
Ooh. I've
Many
played part of
treasures lie
Untold
deep
1.
within a massive labyrinth.
That's...
Its
Ooh.
paths are intertwined, and vicious monsters lurk in the shadows.
That's
A
scary.
blank map is your only guide.
That's scary. 3 of those in one
By drawing
is
the map as you explore,
not
you can
enough.
progress
I don't
even
have the time
further.
for that. Unless they're short. I've never
Venture
actually
into the
beaten one.
labyrinth with 5
So I don't know
adventurers.
how long these games
As the
are.
guild leader, you'll
I just
assign
know
your
that
roles,
three
like the
3-in-1
ally
pack of
defending protector
Etrian Odyssey
or
games,
the
of
ultra
Atlas
fast
RPGs in
Dark
general is
Hunter.
kind of terrifying.
But be warned,
Uh,
every adventure is fraught with danger.
The sad thing
Should
is the
you fall in
upscaling on this
battle,
looks way better
you
than the
can change your
Persona
team
stuff.
And learn new skills to strengthen your party before challenging the labyrinth again. 24 newly drawn character
Okay, they're newly
illustrations
drawn,
are
never mind.
included.
Or these new
Plus,
options. for
take
the-
advantage of new difficulty options and a new auto mapping function for smoother exploration. Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection launches on Nintendo Switch June 1st. Each game in the collection will also be available separately on Nintendo eShop.
All right, that's
Pre-orders
neat.
begin today on
I might have
Nintendo
to pass
eShop.
on that for at least a little bit. Also, wait for reviews because it's Atlas.
Get your
All right,
tactical skills
I was right.
ready.
They're just like they're sending Advance Wars out now.
Calling all strategy fans. The Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp game is only a couple of months away. Join Andy, Max, Sammy, and more in 2 full story campaigns, each one filled
This,
with colorful turn-based
besides the cost
tactical action.
of starting up
Plus
the
your
promotional
strategic
cycle
muscles
again,
across a multitude of
is
modes. Design your own
basically
maps
nothing
and
on
share them
Nintendo's
with
part
friends.
because it's been
Plus,
people
go head-to-head in
people
local
played
and
this
online play.
last year, I
Advance
think.
Wars 1+2
So,
Reboot Camp
yeah, that
comes
makes
to
sense.
Nintendo Switch April 21st. Pre-orders
They could have
begin
thrown this
today
out at
on
basically any
Nintendo
point they want.
eShop.
Pre-orders begin today. People have pre-ordered it and bought it and played it already. All right, I was right about Kirby.
A new story will unfold in the Kirby's Return to Dreamland
And
Deluxe
I think
game.
the back of the box was leaked a couple
Magalore,
weeks ago,
the
so we knew that there was going to be a
interdimensional traveler
Magolor
from
story.
The main adventure has lost his
But, like, that's not a bad
powers
thing.
and must escape the realm between dimensions.
Now, will he play like Star Allies Magolor, or will he play differently because he's been weakened?
All he can do now is a basic attack and jump.
Okay, so he's like,
To regain
Crappy beam.
Magalor's powers, you'll need to collect magic points by defeating enemies.
ah yes, magic points. He's
Magic
definitely not
points,
sucking the souls
different
out of
abilities
things.
can be restored and enhanced. Improve Magalor's levitation or increase his attack range. The order in which you restore his powers is up to you.
All right, so I'm
There are
guessing he's
over
going to eventually
20
build up the Star
interdimensional
Allies
stages
Magolor
to
then.
explore.
The thing is, like, how will this tie into the lore for
Up
other
to
games
4 players
outside
on the
of
same
Return
system
to
can
Dreamland?
venture through this mysterious
That's going to be the thing
realm
that
together.
interests me the most, honestly. Like, will this just tie into
Can
how he's
Magalor
back
restore his
and
powers and
how he
safely
eventually ends up
return
on
to his
Kirby's
world?
side? Or will this, because if he's going interdimensional, then he could run into a few different characters from a few different places. But if this is just about him getting back to the home dimension, then it might be less interesting. I don't know.
After today's Nintendo Direct, a demo will be available on Nintendo eShop.
This Direct has been very generous with demos, and I kind of like that.
4 players can play a specially arranged demo with select stages and sub-games. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe launches on the Nintendo Switch system February 24th. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
We hope you're looking forward to the new story in Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Next, here's some news about Nintendo Switch Online. Please take a
Okay,
look at this.
how are they going to try to salvage it this time? Game Boy, okay, that makes sense. I'm surprised they pulled it on this and aren't saving it for the next generation. But
Game Boy games are being added to Nintendo Switch Online.
just base Game Boy, not even GBA.
On Nintendo Switch, you can play these games anytime, anywhere, just like you could back in the day.
Now, are these being added to base online or
Let's
just an
introduce the
expansion
games
pack?
that will be available at launch. Tetris. Arrange the falling Tetraminos and aim for a high score.
Alright. Tetris 99
Super
is already
Mario
there.
Land 2, 6 golden coins.
Only Mario Land
Reclaim
2,
the castle
okay.
that Wario stole from you. The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening DX.
Alright, so
Awaken
3
the
games.
Rainfish to escape Koholint
They have
Island.
learned nothing. They have learned exactly nothing.
Gargoyle's Quest. Save the Ghoul Realm as
Okay, 4
Firebrand
games.
from the Ghosts and Goblins series. Game & Watch Gallery 3. Play an
They've
assortment
learned
of Game & Watch
slightly,
titles.
but there's no reason to not just dump a couple dozen games on at once.
Alone in the Dark. The New Nightmare.
I did not know there was a
Solve
Game Boy
murder
Color
mystery
Alone
on
in the Dark game.
Supernatural Shadow Island.
Why did they...
Metroid 2, Return of Samus.
Alright,
Destroy
sure.
the Metroids hiding on
I guess
planet
that's
SR
easier than
388.
porting the 3DS game.
Wario Land 3. Traverse a world that changes between day and night based on your actions.
Yeah, they just don't care about starting series in order. That's kind of funny.
Kirby's Dream Land. Float, inhale, and spit out enemies in Kirby's debut title.
That's most of the early Kirby games on it now.
You can use the Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, or Game Boy Color screen filters. Up to 2 players can play compatible games together locally or online.
Alright, I'm guessing they're saving GBA and
More
GameCube.
games will be added in the future.
Alright, Pokemon TCG. That's a strong pick.
And
But why aren't any of the actual Pokemon games there? Oh, never mind. Okay, are we getting the Gen 3 ports? Give us the Gen 3 ports. Minish
Game
Cap
Boy
is a
Advance
strong
games
choice.
are being added to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion
Only
pack.
the expansion pack. I hate you, Nintendo.
Here are the games that you can play at launch.
All right, that's a second version of Mario
Super
3.
Mario Advance 4.
That
Super Mario Bros.
Basically
3.
doesn't count.
Play 38 extra levels from the Nintendo e-reader accessory. WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games.
All right, that's
Experience
fine. Are
the
we getting a
origins
Fire
of the
Emblem?
Lightning Fast Micro Games.
This would be a neat place to drop like FE6
Kudu
being
Kudu
localized for the first
Guide
time.
the spinning stick to the goal.
But if
without
they're throwing
hitting
whatever this
obstacles.
is out, then I don't think we're getting something that big.
Mario Kart Super
Oh yeah,
Circuit.
Super Circuit.
Race
Everyone's
the first
favorite Mario Kart
game created for a portable system. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Oh, they're
Venture through a zany world
recouping
and
all of
fight
their
with
losses from
equally zany
pointlessly
attacks.
remaking that.
The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Shrink to miniature size and dive into a big adventure.
Twitter is still not letting me tweet.
Local and online play is supported for compatible games.
All right, that's
and up
depressingly.
to 4 players
yeah,
can play
I
together.
don't know. With how bad Switch Actual Online is,
More games
Ah,
will
it's
be
just
added to
FE7,
this
that's
library
unfortunate.
as well.
Golden Sun. All right, a crumb. We got a crumb of
After this
Golden Sun
presentation,
acknowledgement.
You can play these Game Boy titles with the Nintendo Switch Online membership.
Yeah.
Play both Game Boy and Game Boy Advance titles.
The
with
actual Nintendo Switch Online
Plus expansion
is so
pack
terrible
membership.
that all of the games should just be included in the base $20 thing.
Select Game Boy titles
Because we should be getting paid for dealing with how bad it
will be
is.
playable on Nintendo Switch. And
man
after
with his
today's
OLED.
Nintendo Direct, you'll be able to play the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance titles we introduced.
All right, I mean, shadow dropping a bunch of
Please
old
look
ports doesn't
forward to
count as
more
shadow drops.
information about Nintendo Switch Online
Or, like,
and Nintendo
all of
Switch
that counts as
Online
one
Plus
shadow drop,
expansion
I
pack
think.
in the future. Let's
So
see
where
a
the
few
hell
more
is Zelda?
headlines.
The original Metroid Prime game is
All right,
remastered on
people have been
Nintendo
speculating
Switch.
on this for ages. And unfortunately, Prime 1 is the only one of those I've already beaten. But sure, they need something to tide us over for Prime 4, because that's at least a 2024 game, unless they show off a lot about it in 2 minutes from now. It's gonna be very interesting. Are they gonna add anything to this? With the Joy-Cons, you could very easily play exactly like the Wii version. And with the Joy-Cons, you can also play exactly like the GameCube version, so... I mean, it looks great. But it always looks great, so... Hopefully this isn't just a $60 up-resing of a game that already looks fine on the base hardware. And a trilogy remaster would have been nice too. But I guess that would have been
First
too
Metroid
expensive.
Prime game, originally released on the Nintendo GameCube system, has been remastered for Nintendo Switch.
I don't Metroid enough to tell how many
Explore
differences there are. I've
Talon
only played it
4
once.
From the perspective of Samus Aran. But
But-
beware, there's more to this alien planet than meets
I'm
the
not
eye.
seeing anything different other than the graphics and
Advisors are the
widescreen.
key to your adventure.
Because this is
They'll
just
help you discover info and
this is
clues
nothing
on how
about
to
new
progress.
features. This is just because the game is almost 20 years old. We need to explain this to people.
Depending on the situation, a certain visor may be required.
But
When
running
hostile
out of time for
creatures
Zelda.
attack, keep
They're
them in
throwing
your
Metroid
sights
at
with
us
the
now.
lock-on feature.
And they could very
Then
easily
fight
throw
back
Zelda
with
at us,
beams,
or not throw, or throw
missiles,
Prime 4 at us at the end. And
bombs, and more.
I don't know how to feel about that.
This
And no Zelda
remaster
Direct is
adds
kind of
new
scary.
dual-stick controls,
Unless they're like,
allowing you to move
alright,
around
we're going to do
while
a
separately
1 hour
changing your point
dedicated
of
Zelda
view.
Direct 2 months before it comes out,
Also
because
select a control style
this little
that
amount of
creates the
information,
feel of
combined with the
original
fact that
game,
it seems to be
among
$70
other
bucks,
control options.
is a little scary.
Explore Talon 4 with your preferred playstyle. The digital version
Yeah.
of Metroid Prime Remastered launches on Nintendo eShop later today. The
That's a
physical
good shadow
version of the
drop, though.
game will be
That is a
available in
very good
stores
shadow drop.
February 22nd.
We got a bit over 5 minutes left, so...
Put your master detective skills to the test.
Okay.
This is the World Detective Organization. Yuma, a trainee detective, and Shinigami, the spirit haunting him, will
This is
solve
from the
strange
Danganronpa people,
incidents
right? Because
within
this looks
Kanai
too
Ward,
Danganronpa to
a
not be.
city ruthlessly controlled by Amaterasu Corporation. You'll investigate
This
these
was-
incidents alongside master
okay.
detectives of the organization.
I think they revealed this at an earlier
Each
direct. This is a
one
bigger
has
trailer.
a
That's
supernatural
fine.
ability that
It's
can
fine. I don't know why
prove
it's this
useful
late in this
during
direct, but
investigations. Mimic body types and voices with disguise. Detect heartbeats and whispers with audio aptitude. And witness past crime scenes with post-cognition. These abilities can
it'd
be
be nice
shared
if Twitter
with you.
like I've been trying to post a one-word tweet since the Xenoblade 3 thing
to
happened.
Get closer to cracking a
And
case.
Twitter still won't let
After
me.
collecting enough
Which is really
evidence,
funny.
a
They knew.
mystery
They
labyrinth
knew.
will appear.
Yeah, I'm not talking much
Spot
about this
the
because I don't
inconsistencies
particularly
and
care much about this,
uncover
honestly.
truth.
That's okay. Obviously,
Master
not
Detective
everything in this is going to be
Archives
for me.
Rain Code
And I don't mind
launches
that.
on Nintendo Switch June 30th.
That's how gaming should be.
Wings of the Heart take flight once more.
Yep,
A
alright.
remastered collection of both Bot and
Even
Kaido's
without
games
Zelda, this is a
originally released on the
schmanger of a
Nintendo
Monolith
GameCube
Direct.
System is coming to Nintendo
I'm so
Switch.
glad it's both of them.
After a long and peaceful era on the floating islands above Earth.
And it
the
says
Empire's
remaster, not
conspiracy
remake, so this is
looms
probably not the
closer.
action game.
As spirits dwelling within the protagonists.
Definitely looks just like an
you'll
updated
stand up to
GameCube
the
game, so it
Empire
doesn't look like they
across
changed
two
too much, which
different
is
eras
good.
of war.
I'm really looking forward to getting to experience Monolith's other early
During your
2000s
travels,
legendary
you'll visit
RPG
various
series.
locales and team up with like-minded allies.
This is not me being joking at all. This is
Battles
not
are
me being
fought
salty
using
about
cards
Xenosaga
called
at all.
Magnus.
I'm still excited for this.
Your attack
And also,
power is determined by the
valedictoriology.
attributes
Getting
and
to hear that in
combinations
its
of
proper
your
context
cards,
is going to be
which
amazing.
are randomly dealt from the deck. In these real-time battles,
Slight shame that
you'll
the
need to
music
make
doesn't sound
split-second
remastered, but, like,
decisions to edge closer to
Not
victory.
everything's going to be a Xenoblade
What
Definitive Edition,
revelations
especially
will
since
come
this is
to
2
light in the
games.
skies above
I like how it's using
and
the same
lands below.
subtitle font. I don't know if what font the original
Bot
was,
and
but
Kaido's 1 and 2 HD Remastered
Interesting.
soars onto Nintendo Switch this summer.
very interesting how it seems to be purely Bemco.
Dive into your
And,
new
like-
fantasy life.
Because I thought the second game was published by Nintendo, but I guess Namco still owns both series. Is this
Live
Fantasy
the
Life
life
2 or is this a
you want
remaster?
in a new Fantasy Life game.
It's actually a new game. 2 level 5
Exploring
games
the
in one
once
direct. That's
thriving island.
I didn't know they were big enough to work on
You'll
multiple
meet
things
a
at once,
mysterious
honestly.
girl. Then travel between past and present to make the island your own. Become a woodcutter, angler, cook, blacksmith, paladin, magician, and more. Take on different
all right.
roles to develop the island. How will you rebuild?
Oh,
This life is yours.
apparently
to
only
live.
scheduled tweets work properly. Hold on, let's see if I can do that. Schedule it for a minute
After
now.
1,000 years, the restoration is about to begin. Fantasy Life I,
see
the
if that
girl
works.
who steals time.
All right, is this the last thing? This is not the last thing still. Are we getting 3 level 5 games? Because this is definitely a return to form for them if, like, 2 new things and then also a new Layton game at once. I'm so happy for level 5
Wave 4
fans.
is racing in. Yoshi's Island. A brand new
Which game is
course
this one
is
from?
zooming into Wave 4 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster
Okay,
Course Pass
actually,
DLC.
it's new. It's not even something that's going to get backported to Tour. It actually looks alright. I'm happy with this.
Birdo, who originally hit the track in Mario Kart Double Dash.
Birdo
is also
wasn't in
being
8
added
yet?
To Wave 4.
Never noticed that. Honestly, I never noticed that, but I'm amazed she wasn't. Really should have been the whole time.
Wave 4 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass
Kinda interesting
DLC
they're only showing
for the
one
Mario
course.
Kart 8 Deluxe game races onto the Nintendo Switch system this spring.
Alright, okay. It's just an announcement of an announcement, basically.
Active
Then.
Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack
That's fine,
members can enjoy this DLC at no additional cost. The DLC can also be purchased on its own.
Sizzle Reel. Lion King? Mega Man we knew about. Alright, sure. I don't remember which Minecraft spin-off that is. I don't know if I've ever seen this one. But I like the art style. That's a lot of Mega Man games. I haven't even finished the classic Legacy collections yet. Stop throwing RPGs at me. Oh no. Gearbox? Gearbox Metroidvania? I feel like I should have known about that already. Probably did know about that already and forgot, but whatever. Konami baseball game that looks like a mobile port? Or a, like, PSX port? Sure. I don't know which Disney game this was. But I don't like those Avatar models, and I don't think I like the Lion King models either. Something about the faces on both of them. Bad Symphonia Remaster, number 286. L. Alright.
Thank you
Got
for
one
staying
last
with
thing,
us so
us.
far.
Is this Zelda or
This
Prime
will be
4?
our last segment.
I don't actually
Please
know.
take a look.
That's really cool. Usually I know what the one last thing is going to be. I've known what the one last thing was going to be every direct after Xenoblade 3 was revealed. Okay, this is Zelda. It was neat to not know for a little bit. Ricky liked not knowing. Enemy varieties? Enemy variety. Enemy variety? I like that. Spotlights.
Rise, rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule.
Are they gonna pull it
Eliminate
like...
this kingdom
Oh,
and her
Calamity
allies.
Ganon was actually the seal on the real
Leave
Ganon?
no survivors.
Because now we can have actual interesting enemies here. Because it looks like they're getting supercharged and stuff. But can I see gameplay once? That I guess okay. I guess that was technically gameplay. Fine, I'll give you that one. But Talos?
But Link, I am not sure you'll be able to stop him.
Alright. I like the Nazca lines. I loved the Nazca lines aesthetic in different things. That's cool. Bigger magnetic stuff. That's a new weapon. That's... was that a previous Zelda incarnation, maybe? Oh no, they turned the machines you could make with glitches into real things. I love that. That's great. That still didn't tell us anything, though. Jesus Christ, Nintendo. The game comes out in 3 months. You can't... Oh, never mind, there's one.
Please, lend him your power.
Alright, who's lending him their power, though? And is that really it? They're still just...
That was The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
3 months,
the
and we
latest
still know
entry
nothing
in the
about this
Legend of
game.
Zelda series.
I can't be
In
excited.
addition to the standard version, a collector's edition of the game containing
If they don't
various
show us
items
anything.
will release on launch day.
Oh, look,
A
that
Neo
was
Hero
actually kind of
figure
interesting
Link
because it
from
looks
this
like...
game
Alright, I'm
with
gonna actually...
various items
That
will
looks like
release
some
on
of the...
launch
That
day.
looks like sages.
A new
There
amiibo
might be
figure of
sages
Link from
returning.
this game
But
will
I
also
had
be
to extrapolate
available
that
on the same day.
from a special edition cover.
We hope you're looking forward to Link's latest grand adventure. That's all for today's Nintendo Direct.
I mean, it was great until they
Thank
showed
you
us
for
nothing about Zelda for the 3rd time. Sure hope that's getting a dedicated direct in the future. I need to sit down for a minute and think about the Xenoblade stuff, so see you back for the analysis soon. Jesus Christ.